She thought she rescued a bullied, helpless man, but she just saved the most dangerous mafia boss of Korea. The alley behind Rosie's diner reeked of rotting garbage and broken dreams, but that's where Zara Williams found him, slumped against the dumpster, blood pooling beneath his designer suit. Three men in expensive leather jackets taking turns kicking him while he tried to shield his head. She didn't think, didn't calculate the risk. Just grabbed the rusted metal pipe leaning against the back door and charged forward, screaming with everything in her lungs. Get the fuck away from him! The pipe connected with the nearest attacker's knee with a satisfying crack. He went down howling. The other two spun toward her, faces twisted with rage, and Zara's survival instincts finally kicked in. She was 5'4", 120 pounds soaking wet, holding a pipe against two men who looked like they ate violence for breakfast. This was monumentally stupid, but the man on the ground, Korean, maybe late 20s with blood streaming from a cut above his eye, looked up at her with the most startling dark eyes she'd ever seen, and something in his expression said please. So Zara planted her feet and raised the pipe like a baseball bat, channeling every ounce of Southside Chicago toughness her grandmother had bred into her. I said back off. I've already called the cops. A lie. Her phone was inside, charging behind the counter. They'll be here in 2 minutes. The men exchanged glances. One of them, tall, scar across his cheek, dead eyes that made Zara's blood run cold, stepped forward. Mind your business, sweetheart. This doesn't concern you. Everything in this alley concerns me. This is my diner. That's my dumpster. And you're trespassing. Zara's voice shook, but she held her ground. Leave. Now. Or I swear to God, I'll cave your skull in and deal with the paperwork. Scarface laughed, but something in Zara's eyes must have convinced him she was crazy enough to try. This isn't over, he said to the man on the ground, switching to rapid Korean that Zara didn't understand. Then to her surprise, they left, melting into the darkness like smoke. Zara waited until she couldn't hear their footsteps anymore, then dropped the pipe with shaking hands. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ! What did I just do? She turned to the injured man who was trying to push himself upright with trembling arms. Don't move. You're hurt. I'll call an ambulance. No. His voice was rough, accent softening the edges of his English. No ambulance. No police. Please. You're bleeding everywhere. You need a hospital. I need to disappear. He finally got himself sitting upright, back against the dumpster, and Zara got her first good look at him. Even beaten and bloody, he was beautiful. Sharp jawline, high cheekbones, lips that probably smiled easy when they weren't split and swollen. His suit was ruined, but had been expensive. Custom tailored. The watch on his wrist cost more than her car. Who were those guys? Zara asked, crouching beside him but keeping her distance. What did you do? I existed in the wrong territory. He touched his ribs gingerly and winced. And I have something they want. Are you in a gang? His laugh turned into a cough that sounded painful. Something like that. Zara should have walked away, should have called the cops despite his protests, and let the system handle whatever criminal bullshit this was. Instead, she found herself saying, Can you walk? My apartment's upstairs. I can patch you up, then you leave. Deal? Those dark eyes studied her with an intensity that made her skin prickle. Why would you help me? Because those assholes were going to kill you, and I don't need that karma in my life. Zara stood, offering her hand. Come on, before they come back with friends. He took her hand, his grip strong despite the beating, and let her help him up. He was taller than she'd thought, lean and muscular under the blood-soaked suit. Every movement clearly hurt, but he bit back any sounds of pain as they made their way up the external stairs to her studio apartment. Inside, Zara's place was small but clean, one room serving as bedroom, living room, and kitchen, decorated with thrift store finds and her grandmother's quilts. She sat him on her bathroom's closed toilet and pulled out her first aid kit, the extensive one she'd built after too many late-night emergencies in this neighborhood. Shirt off, she ordered, running water in the sink. He complied slowly, peeling away the ruined fabric to reveal a body covered in bruises, old scars, and fresh cuts. But what caught Zara's attention was the elaborate tattoo covering his entire back. A dragon in black and gray, wings spreading across his shoulder blades, rendered in exquisite detail. That's wow, she breathed, then caught herself. I mean, hold still. This is going to hurt. She cleaned his wounds with antiseptic, trying to ignore the way his muscles tensed under her fingers. He didn't make a sound, just watched her in the mirror with those unreadable dark eyes. The cut above his eyebrow needed stitches, but Zara did her best with butterfly bandages. His ribs were bruised, maybe cracked, but nothing she could do about that except wrap them. You've done this before, he observed quietly. I'm a waitress in a bad neighborhood. You learn things. Zara finished wrapping his ribs, trying not to notice how warm his skin was under her hands. What's your name? Or should I just call you stupid guy who gets beat up in alleys? A ghost of a smile crossed his lips. Han Ji-hoon. Zara Williams and Ji-hoon, you're going to tell me what you're really mixed up in. It's better if you don't know. I just saved your life and committed multiple felonies with medical treatment without a license. I think I deserve the truth. He studied her for a long moment, then sighed. Those men work for the Jade Serpent Gang, Russian-Korean alliance. They've been trying to take over territory in Koreatown for months. And you? I'm in their way. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I can give you. He stood carefully, testing his weight. Thank you for helping me. I should go before I bring more trouble to your door. You can barely stand, and it's 3 a.m. At least wait until sunrise. Zara, my couch pulls out into a bed. You sleep there, leave in the morning, and we never see each other again. That work for you? Something flickered in his eyes. Gratitude, maybe. Or loneliness. Yes, thank you. She set him up on the pull-out with spare blankets and pillows, hyper-aware of his presence in her small space. You need anything. I'm right there. She pointed to her bed, visible through the open doorway. And Ji-hoon? Those guys come back. I'm calling the cops. I don't care what you're into. Understood. He lay back gingerly. Zara, why did you help me? Really? She paused in the doorway. Because when I was 16, my brother got jumped by a gang. They beat him so bad he was in a coma for 2 weeks. Nobody helped him. Nobody even called for help. They just walked away. Her voice hardened. I swore I'd never be that person. So when I see someone getting hurt, I help. Even if they're probably criminals who'll bring trouble into my life. You, brother? Did he recover? Physically, yeah. Mentally. Zara shook her head. He's never been the same. Brain damage. Lives in a group home now. She met Ji-hoon's eyes. So no, I couldn't walk away. Not from you. Not from anyone. I'm sorry about your brother. Me too. She turned off the light. Get some sleep. Morning comes early. Zara woke to the smell of coffee and something delicious. She stumbled out of bed, confused, and found Ji-hoon in her kitchen, shirtless except for the bandages, moving carefully but efficiently as he cooked what looked like a full Korean breakfast. Soft rice, eggs, kimchi from her fridge that she'd bought but never opened. Some kind of soup. What are you doing? She asked, voice rough with sleep. Saying thank you. He glanced over his shoulder, and Zara's breath caught at the sight of him in the morning light, bruised and bandaged, but somehow more beautiful than last night. I hope you don't mind. I found ingredients in your cabinets. I don't even know how to use half that stuff. My grandma bought it, said I needed to expand my palate. Zara moved closer, drawn by the smell. This looks amazing. It's simple. Comfort food. He plated everything with careful precision. Sit. Eat. They ate in comfortable silence. Zara moaning at flavors she'd never experienced. The spicy tang of properly prepared kimchi, the savory richness of the soup, the way everything came together. Oh my God, this is incredible. My mother taught me. She said a man who can't feed himself is useless. Ji-hoon's expression softened with memory. She died when I was 12. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. But the pain in his voice suggested otherwise. What about your family, besides your brother? My grandma raised me. Parents weren't in the picture. She died 2 years ago, left me this apartment and the job at the diner. Zara pushed rice around her plate. It's not much, but it's mine. My brother gets the best care I can afford, and I sleep okay at night knowing I'm making an honest living. An honest living is worth more than most people realize. Ji-hoon met her eyes across the small table. You're a good person, Zara Williams. You don't know that. I could be terrible. You risked your life for a stranger. That tells me everything I need to know. Heat flooded Zara's cheeks. She looked away, uncomfortable with the intensity of his gaze. Yeah, well, don't make it a habit of getting beat up in alleys. I'll try. He stood, wincing slightly. I should go. I've imposed enough. Wait. Zara grabbed a piece of paper, scribbling her number. If you need help again, or if those guys come back, or... She trailed off, not sure what she was offering. Just here. Ji-hoon took the paper, fingers brushing hers. The contact sent electricity up her arm. Thank you for everything. He hesitated, then added, I hope I see you again. Under better circumstances. Yeah, me too. He left through the back stairs, and Zara watched from her window as he disappeared into the morning streets, moving like a ghost despite his injuries. Something in her chest ached with the certainty that she'd never see him again. She was wrong. 3 days later, Zara was pulling a double shift at Rosie's. Lunch and dinner, because Jenny had called in sick, and tips were good enough to make the exhaustion worth it. She was refilling coffee for the regulars when the door chimed, and Ji-hoon walked in. He looked completely different, healed or at least healing fast. Dressed in casual clothes, dark jeans, a simple black t-shirt, but moving with the same predatory grace. And he wasn't alone. 2 other Korean men flanked him, both built like brick walls, both watching the room with professional wariness. Their eyes met across the diner, and Zara's heart did something complicated in her chest. Ji-hoon smiled, a real smile this time, transforming his severe features, and headed toward the counter. Hey, she said, trying to sound casual while her pulse raced. You're looking better. Ribs okay? Thanks to you. He slid onto a stool. I came to properly thank you, and to eat. The food here is supposed to be good. It's decent. Nothing like your cooking, though. Zara grabbed a menu, hyper-aware of his companions, watching from a booth near the door. Who are your friends? Security. Necessary precaution. He didn't elaborate. What's good here? They talked while she worked, easy conversation flowing between customers. Ji-hoon ordered the meatloaf special and ate it with genuine appreciation, complimenting every element. He asked about her life, her dreams, her brother, listened with complete attention, like she was the only person in the world. It felt like a date, except it couldn't be, because this man was clearly involved in something dangerous, something that required bodyguards and resulted in alley beatings. Zara kept reminding herself of that, even as she found herself laughing at his dry humor, drawn to the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled. When her shift ended, Ji-hoon was still there. Can I walk you home? He asked. I live upstairs. It's like 30 seconds. Then I'll walk you 30 seconds. His smile was gentle. Please. Against her better judgment, Zara agreed. They walked to her building's entrance, his 2 companions maintaining a discreet distance. Under the flickering streetlight, Ji-hoon turned to face her. I need to tell you something, he said seriously, about who I am, what I do. Ji-hoon, you don't have to. Yes, I do, because I'm going to ask you out, and you deserve to know the truth before you answer. He took a breath. Those men who attacked me, they're trying to take over territory controlled by my organization. I'm the head of the Han family, what Americans call the Korean Mafia. Zara's stomach dropped. You're a gangster. I'm a businessman who operates in gray areas. I run protection services, import-export, entertainment venues. Some of it's legal, some, he shrugged, some exists in the spaces between laws. And the beating? I was meeting with a potential ally alone to show good faith. It was an ambush. They wanted to send a message. His jaw tightened. I underestimated them. So you're telling me you're a crime boss? Yes. Zara should have been horrified. Should have told him to leave and never come back. Instead, she found herself asking, "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I haven't been able to stop thinking about you, about your bravery, your kindness, the way you helped a stranger without asking for anything in return." Jihoon stepped closer. "I want to see you again, take you to dinner, get to know the woman who charged into danger with a metal pipe to save my life. But I won't lie to you about who I am or what I do. This is crazy. Completely. You're a criminal. By some definitions, yes. I could lose my job, get arrested, end up dead in an alley somewhere. You won't. I'd protect you with everything I have." His eyes blazed with intensity. "Zara, I know this is fast. I know it's dangerous. But I feel something with you that I've never felt before. Like maybe there's more to life than just surviving. And I hope, you might feel it too." She did. God help her, she did. This beautiful, dangerous man who cooked her breakfast and looked at her like she was precious, who trusted her with the truth when he could have kept lying. "One date," Zara heard herself say. "One date. And if it's weird or you're secretly a serial killer or I just can't handle your world, we end this. Deal?" Ji-hoon's smile could have lit up the entire city. "Deal. Friday night, I'll pick you up at 7. "Okay, but Ji-hoon?" She met his eyes. "No more secrets. If we're doing this, I need honesty. Complete honesty. You'll have it, I promise." Friday arrived both too quickly and not fast enough. Zara spent hours agonizing over her outfit, finally settling on a simple black dress that her grandma had bought her for Christmas 2 years ago. She'd never had anywhere fancy enough to wear it. Until now. Ji-hoon arrived exactly at 7, dressed in a perfectly tailored dark suit, holding a bouquet of sunflowers. Her favorite, though she'd never told him that. "How did you know?" she asked, taking the flowers. "You have a painting of sunflowers in your apartment, and there's a photo of you as a child in a sunflower field on your refrigerator." He smiled at her surprised expression. "I pay attention." The restaurant was in Koreatown, small and elegant, with private rooms and staff who greeted Ji-hoon with deep bows and rapid Korean. They were led to a private room with a low table and cushions, traditional but comfortable. "This place is beautiful," Zara said, settling onto a cushion. "It belongs to my family. Has for 3 generations." Ji-hoon poured tea with practiced grace. "I wanted somewhere we could talk freely, without interruption." The food came in waves. So many dishes Zara lost count. Bulgogi, japchae, pajeon, things she couldn't name but tasted incredible. Ji-hoon explained each one, teaching her how to eat them properly, laughing when she struggled with chopsticks. "Tell me about your family," Zara said between courses. "Your real story." Ji-hoon set down his chopsticks, expression growing serious. "My grandfather came to Los Angeles in the 1970s with nothing. He worked in restaurants, saved every penny, and eventually bought a small grocery store in Koreatown. But the neighborhood was dangerous. Gangs demanded protection money. Police didn't care. So my grandfather and other Korean business owners formed their own protection organization. The beginning of the Han family," Zara guessed. "Yes, it started as self-defense, protecting our community because no one else would. But power corrupts, and over time, it became what you see now. My father expanded operations, gambling, smuggling, money laundering. When he died 5 years ago, I inherited everything. And those men who attacked you? The Jade Serpents are new. Russian Bratva partnered with a Korean gang from Seoul. They're trying to take over all of LA's Korean businesses. They've already killed 3 family heads. I'm next on their list." Fear spiked through Zara. "Should you even be here? Out in public?" "I have security outside, and this restaurant is fortified. We're safe." He reached across the table, taking her hand. "But I appreciate your concern. Not many people worry about me these days. What about friends? Family? I have lieutenants, allies, people who work for me. But friends? He shook his head. When you're in my position, you can't trust easily. Everyone wants something. Everyone has an angle. Is that why you like me? Because I don't want anything from you? I like you because you're real. No pretense. No games. You see a man getting beaten, you grab a pipe and charge in. You don't calculate the benefit or the risk. You just act. His thumb traced circles on her palm. You're the first genuine thing I've encountered in years. I'm not that special, Ji-hoon. I'm just a waitress trying to pay rent and take care of her brother. You're extraordinary. You just don't see it yet. They talked for hours. Ji-hoon told her about his childhood, his mother's death from cancer, his father's expectations and harsh training, how he'd wanted to be an architect but duty demanded he take over the family business, how every day was a careful balance between honor and survival. Zara shared her own stories. Growing up poor in Chicago, moving to LA with her grandma after her brother's attack, trying to make something of herself despite limited options. Her dream of opening a community center for at-risk youth. Her fear that she'd end up trapped in the diner forever. What if you didn't have to be? Ji-hoon asked suddenly. Didn't have to be what? Trapped. What if you had the resources to open that community center? To make your dream real? Zara pulled her hand back. I'm not asking you for money. I know, but I'm offering it anyway. Not as charity, as investment. He leaned forward. Zara, I've spent years funding businesses in Koreatown, helping my community grow. Why not expand that? Help someone who actually cares about making a difference? Because then I'd owe you. I'd be obligated. You'd owe me nothing except the satisfaction of helping a good person achieve something meaningful. His eyes were earnest. Think about it. That's all I ask. The offer rattled around in Zara's head all through dessert and the drive home. Ji-hoon's sleek black car, driven by one of his security team, while he sat in back with her, their hands linked like teenagers. At her door, he walked her up, bodyguards waiting discreetly below. Under the dim hallway light, Ji-hoon cupped her face gently. I had a wonderful time tonight. Me too. Even though this is absolutely insane, and I should probably have my head examined. Probably. His thumb brushed her cheek. Can I see you again? Yes, but Ji-hoon, we need to take this slow. Your world is dangerous and I need to protect myself. And my brother. Of course, whatever pace you need. He hesitated, then added, but I need to tell you something else. Those men who attacked me, they know you helped me. My people intercepted communications. They're looking for you. Terror flooded through Zara. What? I've already arranged protection. 2 of my best people will be watching you at all times. You won't see them, but they'll be there. His expression was fierce. I won't let them hurt you, I swear it. Ji-hoon, this is exactly what I was afraid of. Getting dragged into your world, becoming a target. I know, and I'm sorry. But Zara, you were already a target the moment you helped me. Whether we date or not, they see you as connected to me now. His hands gripped her shoulders. Let me protect you. Please. She wanted to argue, wanted to tell him to leave her alone, to fix this mess without involving her further. But he was right. She'd become part of this the moment she charged into that alley, and running wouldn't change that. Okay, protection, but I want to meet these people watching me. I want to know who they are. Done. Tomorrow if you want. And no more surprises. If something affects my safety, you tell me immediately. I promise. He kissed her then, soft and sweet and full of promise. And despite the fear, despite the danger, despite every logical reason to walk away, Zara found herself kissing him back, falling deeper into this impossible situation. The next 3 weeks were a surreal blend of normal and absolutely not normal. Zara continued working at the diner, serving coffee and pie, smiling at regulars. But now she noticed the 2 silent Koreans who always sat near the windows. Ji-hoon's people, watching over her. She met them officially. Park Min-seok, a former Korean military specialist with kind eyes and multiple scars, and Yoon Hana, a tiny woman with a black belt in 3 martial arts and a laugh like wind chimes. They became familiar presences, invisible when needed, but always there. Ji-hoon took her out 3 more times. Fancy dinners, a private tour of Lakme after hours, a helicopter ride over the city at sunset. Each date was more elaborate than the last, and each time Zara felt herself falling harder. He was attentive, funny, surprisingly gentle despite his dangerous life. But reality crashed back in on a Tuesday night. Zara was closing the diner, last one out, doors locked, cleaning done, when the lights went out, every single one plunging the space into darkness. Her heart hammered as she pulled out her phone, but before she could dial, hands grabbed her from behind. She screamed, thrashing, kicking back hard and connecting with someone's shin. A grunt of pain, then more hands, too many to fight. Rough fabric pressed against her face, chemical sweet, making her dizzy. She tried to hold her breath, tried to fight, but darkness swallowed her whole. Zara woke to pain, head pounding, shoulders screaming from being tied to a chair, zip ties cutting into her wrists. The room was concrete and windowless, lit by a single harsh bulb. And standing in front of her was the man with the scar from the alley. "Hello, sweetheart," he said, smile predatory. "Remember me?" Terror slammed into Zara, but she forced herself to breathe, to think. "Where am I?" "Somewhere your boyfriend won't find you, at least not in time." He crouched in front of her, knife appearing in his hand. "You cost us a lot when you saved Han Ji-hoon. Set our plans back weeks. Now you're going to help us fix that." "I don't know anything. I'm just a waitress." "Your leverage." He traced the knife along her cheek, not cutting, but threatening. "Han cares about you. Foolish, really, caring about anyone in our world. But his weakness is our opportunity." "He'll kill you," Zara said with more confidence than she felt. "All of you. Maybe. But first he'll trade what we want to get you back. Territory, businesses, power." The man's smile widened. "And if he doesn't? Well, we'll make sure he sees what happens to people who interfere with Jade Serpent business." He left her alone then, and Zara fought against the zip ties until her wrist bled. Hours passed. Maybe. Time felt elastic in the windowless room. She drifted between terror and determination, thinking about Ji-hoon, about her brother, about all the things she'd never get to do if she died here. Then suddenly, gunfire. Distant but unmistakable. Shouts in Korean and Russian. The sound of violence getting closer. Zara's heart raced. Rescue or death. She couldn't tell which was coming. The door exploded inward, and Ji-hoon stood there, covered in blood that wasn't his, gun in hand, eyes wild with fury and fear. He saw her, and something in his expression cracked. "Zara." He was beside her in seconds, cutting through the zip ties with swift precision. "Are you hurt? Did they touch you?" "I'm okay. Scared, but okay." Her hands were free, and she threw her arms around him, feeling him shake. "You came. Did you think I wouldn't?" He pulled back, checking her over with frantic hands. "I tore the city apart looking for you. Burned every Jade Serpent operation to the ground. They'll never threaten you again." "Ji-hoon, there's so much blood. None of it's mine. Come on, we need to leave before police arrive." He helped her stand, wrapping an arm around her waist when her legs wobbled. They moved through corridors filled with bodies, Ji-hoon's people, and Jade Serpent gang members, carnage everywhere. Outside, dawn was breaking. Park Min-sok waited with a car, expression grim. "Boss, we need to move. LAPD is 3 minutes out." They drove in silence. Zara's hand clutched in Ji-hoon's like a lifeline. At his penthouse, he led her to the bathroom and started a shower, helping her undress with clinical efficiency. "Get warm. I'll find clean clothes." Zara stood under the hot water, watching blood, hers and others, swirl down the drain. She was shaking now, adrenaline fading into shock. The bathroom door opened, and Ji-hoon stepped in, fully clothed and wrapped her in his arms. "I'm sorry," he whispered into her wet hair. "I'm so fucking sorry. This is my fault. I brought this into your life. You didn't kidnap me. They did. Because of me. Because you saved me." His voice broke. "Zara, I can't lose you. I can't. But I can't keep putting you in danger either." She pulled back, water streaming between them. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying maybe this was a mistake. Us. Maybe you should go back to your life, and I should stay in mine. Before I get you killed." Anger flashed through Zara, hot and bright. Don't you dare make that decision for me. I'm trying to protect you. By pushing me away? That's not protection. That's cowardice." She gripped his wet shirt. "Ji-hoon, I was terrified in there. Absolutely terrified. But you know what I kept thinking? That I wished I'd told you I was falling in love with you. That I regretted not taking more chances while I could." His eyes widened. "Zara, I'm not done. Yes, your world is dangerous. Yes, I might get hurt or worse. But Ji-hoon, everyone dies. My grandma died in her sleep. My brother got brain damage walking home from school. There's no such thing as safe." She pulled him closer. "So I choose this. I choose you. I choose falling in love with a man who burns the city down to save me. If you want me gone, you say it. But don't hide behind protecting me." "I love you," Ji-hoon said fiercely. "I've loved you since you charged into that alley with a rusted pipe. I love your courage, your kindness, the way you see the world. And I'm terrified of losing you. Then don't let go." He kissed her then, desperate and consuming, and Zara kissed him back with everything she had. They made love against the shower wall, on his bed, slow and frantic and everything between. Claiming each other, promising without words that this thing between them was worth any risk. Afterward, lying tangled together, Ji-hoon's fingers traced patterns on her bare skin. "The Jade Serpents are finished. I destroyed their leadership tonight, but there will always be others, always new threats. I know. I can't give you a normal life. Can't promise safety or stability or any of the things you deserve. I don't want normal. I want real." Zara propped herself up on one elbow. "But Ji-hoon, if we're doing this, really doing this, I need to be part of your world, not just the girlfriend you protect. A partner." "What do you mean?" "I mean, teach me about your business, your operations, the politics. Let me understand what you're dealing with so I can help, not just be a liability." He studied her carefully. "That's dangerous knowledge. Once you know, you can't unknown it." "I'm already in danger. Might as well understand why." A slow smile spread across his face. "You're remarkable." "You know that? I'm practical. There's a difference." She kissed him softly. "So, tell me everything." Over the next 6 months, Ji-hoon kept his word. He brought Zara into his world gradually but completely. She attended meetings, learned the hierarchy, understood the careful balance of power that kept Koreatown functioning. She met the family heads, the business owners, the people who depended on Ji-hoon's protection. And slowly, Zara began to see it differently. Yes, Ji-hoon ran illegal operations, but he also funded schools, protected immigrant families from exploitation, provided jobs when the legal system failed. He existed in the gray spaces, doing what was necessary to protect his community. She kept her job at the diner, needed the normalcy, the connection to her old life, but started working with Ji-hoon on the community center project. They found a building in South Central, renovated it together, created programs for at-risk youth. Job training, mentorship, safe spaces, funded by Ji-hoon's businesses but run by Zara's vision. Her brother Marcus was moved to a better care facility, top-notch medical care, therapy, activities. He smiled more, talked more, seemed happier than he'd been in years. "You did this," Zara told Ji-hoon, watching Marcus laugh during a group activity. "You gave him his life back." "We did this," Ji-hoon corrected, taking her hand. "You had the vision, I just had the resources." They moved in together, Zara keeping her apartment for appearances, but spending every night in Jihoon's penthouse, learning each other's rhythms, building a life that somehow worked despite all the reasons it shouldn't. But peace was always temporary in Jihoon's world. The attack came on a Friday night. Zara was at the community center late, reviewing applications for the new youth program. Park Min-suk was outside, along with two other guards. She felt safe, protected, until the windows shattered and men poured in. Not jade serpents this time, but something new. Chinese gang, someone shouted. Retaliation for a territory dispute. Zara dove behind her desk as bullets tore through the space, destroying everything she'd built. Min-suk returned fire, but he was outnumbered. Zara grabbed her phone, dialing Ji-hoon with shaking hands. He answered on the first ring. Zara? What's wrong? We're under attack. The center. Chinese gang, Min-suk said. Ji-hoon. They're destroying everything. A bullet hit too close, and Zara's phone shattered. She was alone, pinned down, with violence exploding around her. Then Yoon Hana was there, materializing from nowhere, pulling Zara toward the back exit. Move! Now! They ran through smoke and gunfire, Hana's body shielding Zara's, until they burst into the alley. More attackers waited. Hana fought with brutal efficiency, taking down 3 men before catching a bullet in the shoulder. She went down hard and Zara screamed. This time Zara didn't freeze, didn't wait for rescue. She grabbed Hana's fallen gun, hands shaking but determined, and fired at the approaching men. The recoil jarred her arms, shots going wide, but it bought enough time for backup to arrive. Ji-hoon's people flooded the alley, and then Ji-hoon himself was there, pulling Zara into his arms while his team secured the area. You're okay. I've got you. Hana's shot. Min-suk's inside. Ji-hoon, they destroyed the center. Sobs choked her words. We'll rebuild. But first, we end this. His expression was cold fury. This was the Sun Yeon triad. They've been pushing into LA for months. Tonight, they signed their death warrant. Ji-hoon, no more. I tried to handle this quietly, tried to negotiate, but they attacked you, destroyed what you built. That doesn't stand. He cupped her face. Stay with Hana. My people will protect you. I have work to do. He left and Zara watched him go, understanding fully for the first time the weight he carried, the violence he was capable of, the darkness he lived in to protect his people. The war lasted 2 weeks. Ji-hoon was gone most of that time, and when Zara saw him, he was exhausted, covered in blood, eyes hollow. But he kept fighting, kept pushing, until finally the Sun Yeon leadership sued for peace. The treaty was signed in a neutral location, major concessions on both sides, new boundaries established. Ji-hoon came home that night and collapsed into Zara's arms, finally letting his guard down. It's over, he whispered. We have real peace this time. All the major players agreed. At what cost? Zara stroked his hair. 17 dead on our side, 23 on theirs. Too many. His voice was raw. I'm tired, Zara. So fucking tired of the violence. Then stop. He pulled back, looking at her with red-rimmed eyes. What? Stop. Walk away. You've built legitimate businesses. You have resources. You don't need the criminal operations anymore. Zara took his hands. Ji-hoon, you said you wanted to be an architect once. What if you could be? What if you could leave this all behind? It's not that simple. The family will survive. Promote someone else to leadership. Use your resources to help them transition to legitimate operations. She squeezed his hands. You've spent your whole life living your father's dream. When do you get to live yours? Hope flickered in his eyes, dangerous and fragile. You're serious. Completely. Ji-hoon, I love you, all of you. But I don't want to spend the rest of our lives waiting for the next war, the next attack. We have enough money, enough resources. Let's build something new, something that's ours. What would we even do? Anything, everything. You could go back to school for architecture. I could expand the community center model across LA. We could travel, have kids, live like normal people. Zara's voice grew fierce. We could be happy, Ji-hoon. Really, truly happy. He kissed her then, deep and desperate. Yes, God, yes, let's do it. Let's get out. It took a year to fully extricate Ji-hoon from the Han family operations. He installed his most trusted lieutenant as the new head, used his resources to help transition businesses to legitimate operations, and slowly, carefully, built an exit strategy that wouldn't collapse everything his grandfather had built. The community center was rebuilt, bigger and better, with 5 additional locations across LA. Zara became a minor celebrity in nonprofit circles, the woman who transformed at-risk youth programs in the city. She was offered speaking engagements, consulting jobs, opportunities she'd never dreamed of. Ji-hoon enrolled in architecture school at USC, finally pursuing the dream he'd abandoned at 18. He was older than his classmates, carried scars they couldn't understand, but his work was brilliant. Buildings that honored both Korean and American design principles, spaces that brought communities together. They bought a house in Pasadena, big enough for the family they planned, with a studio for Ji-hoon's work and a garden where Zara grew sunflowers. Some nights Ji-hoon still woke with nightmares, violence from his past haunting him. But Zara was there, holding him, reminding him who he was becoming. 2 years after that first night in the alley, Ji-hoon took Zara back to that same spot. It had been cleaned up, repurposed. A small pocket park now, with benches and flowers. "This is where you saved my life," he said, pulling her close. "I thought you were just some guy getting beaten up." I am, just a guy who got incredibly lucky." He dropped to one knee, pulling out a ring that made Zara's breath catch. "Zara Williams, you charged into danger for a stranger. You loved a criminal. You believed I could be more than my father's legacy. Will you marry me? Build a future with me? Prove that sometimes the most unlikely love stories are the ones that matter most?" Tears streamed down Zara's face. "Yes. God, yes. You impossible, beautiful, formerly murderous man. Yes." He slipped the ring on her finger, a single sunflower design in yellow gold, and kissed her as the sun set over the city they'd both fought to protect. 2 people from different worlds who'd built a bridge between them. The waitress and the mafia boss writing their own ending. Because sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes love means seeing past the darkness to the light underneath. And sometimes the best thing you can do is charge into an alley with a rusty pipe, save a stranger's life, and let yourself be saved in return.